Hello, everyone. I'm Corrin Davis, your host of The Rundown. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 3. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, so I thought, what better way to celebrate the holiday than show some love to WT Athletics? In Portales, the Lady Buffs fell to Eastern 68-62, but I have to shout out two freshmen who have held their own this season. Kyla Kane and Holly Stalder walked away from Thursday's game with 12 points each. Stalder also had 8 boards, an assist, and a steal. Buff basketball came out on top against the Greyhounds in a 98-87 victory. 3 Buffs surpassed the 20-point mark. Julius Brown and Larry Wise recorded 28 points on the night, and just behind them, Zach Toussaint had 26 points. Jumping to Saturday in Silver City, both the men's and women's team went head-to-head with Western New Mexico in a pair of divisional matchups. Let's take a look at some highlights. Lady Buffs trail by 4 here at the end of the first quarter. Western New Mexico's Brooke Rogers launches it for 3, putting the Mustangs ahead. It's a tied ball game. Holly Stalder finds Lauren Taylor for the jumper off the glass. Third quarter, Taylor grabs the rebound and she kicks it out to Kyla Kane for triple. 37-33 Western. Thaubic pump fakes and powers in a layup, closing the gap by 2. Kane dishes it inside to Decker for the bucket. WT calls a timeout here. 44 seconds left on the clock. Western New Mexico breaks through the Lady Buff defense, and the Lady Buffs are unable to catch up, dropping to Western New Mexico 59-52. And now that takes them to the number 3 spot in the West Division, just behind LCU and Angelo. On to the men's game. Buffs lead midway through the first half. Larry Wise working the defense and then fires it to Rylan Holt behind the arc, and it's good. Buffs continue on the perimeter here. Holt passes it to Wise. Wise fires it in to put the Buffs up 43-27. Thornton with the crossover jumper. Jesse Uweezy with the recovery, and he powers it in. Zach Toussaint kicks it to Julius Brown. Brown with the 15-foot jumper sinks it, putting them up 57-28. A little less than 15 minutes to go. Toussaint with the circus shot, and it's good. The Buffs take home the win 91-66 and keep their number 1 spot in the West Division. Quick shout out to senior Julius Brown for being named the Lone Star Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Heading into track and field, I want to highlight what they do best: break records and make history, like every week. This weekend in Michigan, senior Eleonora Kurtabi made history multiple times in the women's mile, breaking the school record, recording the best time so far in Division II, and recording the 8th best time in Division II women's indoor history with a time of 4:40.56. Senior Florence Uwazineza made history once again in the 5,000 meter race, recording a time of 16:22.09, which is the second fastest time in the WT record book and the 3rd best mark in Division II this season. Bringing it back to the Lone Star State up the road in Lubbock, Desmond Aurier registered a time of 6:77 in the 60-meter dash to finish 5th. Ray Dixon held his own in the weight throw event, throwing for 61 feet and finishing 4th overall. On to baseball, the Buffs fell to Texas A&M Kingsville in their home opener at Wilder Park this weekend. But senior Will Finning had a successful series at the plate with 3 homers and 7 RBIs. And despite the loss, senior Adam Becker continued to impress, recording 2 home runs, 4 doubles, and 6 RBIs in this series. Here are the scores from the weekend. On a more positive note, Lady Buff softball walked away with a sweep, maintaining their 9-0 record. In Game 1 of the WT Invitational, sophomore Heidi Vortherms dealt against Colorado Mesa, walking off the mound with 14 strikeouts, throwing 7 of them in the final 2 innings. Senior Ruby Salzman had another stellar outing at the plate, hitting above 500 in every game this weekend with a total of 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. Fun fact, she hasn't struck out this season. Lady Buff golf team brought home the gold in their spring season opener at the Jack Brown Memorial Tournament. The team recorded a score of 38 over par. Huge shout out to our Player of the Week senior Alyssa Campbell for leading the Lady Buffs to victory. Day 1, she fired an even par 72. In day 2, she carded a 2-over and recorded 6 birdies to top off the tournament. Campbell was also named LSC Women's Golfer of the Week. This week at WT, Buff and Lady Buff basketball are back at the FUB. Play will kick off on Thursday at 5:30. The Lady Buffs will be hosting St. Mary's, and the men's team will follow after that at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, both teams will face St. Edward's. The women's game will tip off at 1 p.m., and the guys' game will be shortly after that at 3 p.m. Buff Baseball will also take on St. Edward's at their house for some more conference action. The series will start at 1 p.m. on Friday, doubleheader Saturday, and then wrap up the series at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Lady Buff Softball heads into conference this weekend on the road at Angelo in a 3-game series starting at 5 p.m. on Friday, and then a doubleheader Saturday beginning at 1 p.m. Indoor track and field has reached postseason. Both the men's and women's team will be down in Lubbock competing in the Lone Star Conference Championship to advance to the finals. Lady Buff Golf will continue their season next Monday and Tuesday, February 20th and 21st at the UCO Southern Invite in Spring, Texas. The men's golf team will also make their spring debut in San Antonio at the Rattler Invitational. They will also begin next Monday and Tuesday, February 20th and 21st. A new segment I want to introduce to everyone, our top 5 plays of the month, starting with number 5. Freshman Emily Boyer made a statement in her first collegiate outing, knocking not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs out of the park against CSU Pueblo in the South Central Regional Challenge Tournament. The rookie helped her team defeat CSU Pueblo 12-4 in a 5-inning game. At number 4, we have WT Baseball's senior Will Finning with the diving catch. We're going to play back one more time in case you folks missed it. Look at the reach. That ball had no chance at hitting the ground. Number 3, a play from last weekend. Julius Brown takes it down the court and finds Damian Thornton with no defense to stop him for the slam dunk. Here it is again. I mean, he's just lonely over there. Number 2, I know this is no surprise. Sophomore Hamdi Ali cleared 7-3 in the men's high jump event. The dude's got hops. I mean, that's an Olympic caliber mark right there. Sitting at number 1, like I mentioned earlier, sophomore Heidi Vortherms was throwing some heat against Colorado Mesa. I think K was her favorite letter that game. Real quick, before we head out, I want to remind everybody that this Thursday at the Lady Buff basketball game, it is Paint the Floor Pink Night. No, we're not literally painting the floor pink, but what we will do is when WT scores their first point of the game, the fans will throw streamers onto the court to honor breast cancer awareness. We would love to have everybody come out and support if you can make it. Also, this Saturday is senior night for the men's basketball game, so we would love for you guys to come out and honor and support the seniors and all of the hard work that they've done. If you haven't already, go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WT The Rundown. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. That's all for this week's episode. I'm Corrin Davis, and you're watching The Rundown.